Hey guys, I'm Aditya Thakur and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today for the podcast, I have with me Janvi Pujari. She is a web developer, a freelancer. And what's interesting is she isn't from a tech background, so she has built up her profile and has over 2000 plus followers on Instagram. Today, she will be joining me to share her journey building up her profile and starting out as a freelancer, how she does price her services, and also how has it been for her moving from a non-technical background to a technical domain. For all the web developers out there, for anyone looking to start as a freelancer, for anyone worried about how to price their freelancing services, I think this would be a very insightful talk and I'm really excited for this. So let's get started. Hi Janvi, thank you so much for joining me today. I would love if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure, Aditya. So this is Janvi Pujari, and I am a self-taught web developer, and I'm from a non-tech background. So first of all, thank you so much, Aditya, for having me here.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to have you. And I want to get started with my first question, as in, what is your story behind becoming a freelance developer? What inspired you or motivated you, to move into this field?
Yeah, sure, Aditya. So basically, I was from a BCom background, like from a non-tech background, and there I wanted to do something in my life which fascinates me, and especially which is creative. Like I can show my creativity there. So I started doing internships in the various fields which I had in mind, like marketing, social media, and event management, which were great, from which I got an amazing experience, and also I got few tips about marketing and how to manage events and interact with people. I improved my communication skills, but still I felt that this wasn't for me, because if you think about event management, I have to wait there till late night. It may be 2 o'clock in the morning, so it will be that. So it will take many hours to reach back to the home. So I couldn't stay there. So there were so many issues. Like being a girl, parents weren't allowed to stay there at night. So things didn't match up. So I was constantly finding what were the things I can do, even if I'm from commerce background. So since I was digging for internships, one day I got a call for an interview, and it was for marketing. But still, the interviewer asked me like whether I know about web design or web development. So I said I don't know about them. He drew on the whiteboard that what the difference between design and development, and I found it really creative. Like, wow, I can make websites. Like, I have to, learn few things, and I can make a simple website. So I googled everything, and I started with HTML. So there the journey started.
Wow, that is so amazing. I mean, coming from a non tech background and starting into tech. Since you are a self taught web developer, I also want to know what are the skills necessary to become a freelancer. For someone who wants to, move into freelancing as a web developer, what should he do to get started with it?
See, for freelancing now, basically the small businesses want quick websites. So they focus on like more on WordPress. They ask you whether you can make WordPress ka website, because coding takes a little much more time than WordPress. So for beginners who want to like land on their first client, I would suggest them to learn WordPress. Like, it's my opinion. It can be different for many other people, but it's my opinion. Like, start with WordPress also, because small businesses want quick websites, so learning WordPress would be more beneficial for them. And talking about this coding ka part, yes, you have to know up to JavaScript if you want to be a front end developer. Like not this basic JavaScript, you have to know the advanced one, all the asynchronous, etc., etc. You have to learn till there, and it would be great if you can learn Node and go for React and learn the whole MERN stack. So you can be a full stack developer then. So I would suggest them that.
Yeah, I mean, everything is moving online. So there are a number of small businesses looking to hire freelance developers who would build the website for them. I also want to know, how do you approach clients? How do you get the projects or reach out to people?
Yes. So actually, I never approached anyone. Most of the clients approach me, but to do that, to make clients approach us, first build your personal brand, as in showcase your project, showcase your talent, like how good you are on, like you can have a blog, or as you said that we were having conversation as on LinkedIn also, and on Instagram. I targeted Instagram, and there I started, educating everyone about the concepts of the web development, tips and the tricks which they can use, and tried my best to understand, make the audience understand concepts of web development in the simplest manner. So from there, people see and they think, yeah, she is like worthy of this. So they come to me and they approach to me. So that's how I landed on clients.
You have such an amazing page. I also have a question about that. I want to know the story behind it. But before we go into that, I want to ask you, like, how would you recommend pricing the freelancing services? As in, for someone who is just getting started, how should they set the price, and how do you charge someone for a website or a freelance project?
Yes. So basically, I price according to the stages, and in that I also add, like I do 4 revisions in, like all the revisions, like four revisions for free in that, and also 3 months maintenance. So it will be that package. And also, never work for free, first of all, and don't underprice yourself, don't undervalue yourself, because what happens, today there are lots of developers, and somebody will even work for free. So don't reduce your price, because what happens now, when you get into a project, the clients always need, like, change this, change that. So set your boundaries. In starting, only tell them that I will only do this much revisions. Otherwise, they will make you work like anything. You will be really frustrated. So don't exhaust yourself. Set your boundaries, and um, price accordingly. If you are if you are developing apps or websites, go for someone who is there and take their guide. And if you will ask me, then I charge according to the pages, and what are the extra functionalities they want, I charge them accordingly.
Definitely, it is so important to set boundaries and decide beforehand. So, how has your experience been? If there is an interesting story that you would like to share working on one of your previous projects.
Yes, sure. So when I started, I didn't have any guidance. So I saw many people are working for free. So I thought maybe I'll lose this client if I said higher price. So I said a little amount, as compared to how much it was priced in the market. And he then wanted the normal, like, coding wala website. He wanted WordPress ka website. And at that time, I didn't know about how WordPress works. So he said learn it and then do it. I said okay. So, and he made me work like anything, like, do this, change that, and he also said that, call me in half an hour and tell me how much work you have done. So it was very tedious for me to do so many things at once, like learning also, doing also, and also informing him that I did this things. So that's why, from there I learned setting boundaries is very important. And then also, what happens when you don't say that, my in my price only 4 revisions are included, and if you want any other revisions, you have to pay. If you don't say that now, then they will make you do hundreds of revisions in your project, and you will keep on doing that revision, and that project will take a long time. So that is why, I guess we should set boundaries, and we should clearly state them. We should have one contract, and we should write that these are the things I'm gonna do, and I will complete it in this days, and this will be the price. So making contracts will be a smart move, according to me.
Yeah, I mean, that is a great advice. So, you're also a mentor, you also help students learn JavaScript and get started with web development. I want to know, for someone who wants to approach you for these sessions, how should they do it?
They can contact me on Instagram. They can just DM me.
And I also want to know what all do you cover in these sessions? What all do you take up in the mentorship that you provide?
So first, when we get started, if they want from complete scratch, like they are from non-tech background, first I start from how internet works, how website works. Then I go to HTML, and in there I teach them like all the basic parts, the tags, the forms, and everything. And then CSS, and we do like there are 7 projects included, and we do some projects together, HTML and CSS together. Then I move into JavaScript, and from there we do like projects according to the concept. Like suppose we have this um, object oriented, I have another set of projects, and for APIs and everything I have another set of projects, so they can understand how to use this concept practically in the project. And then last comes Node.js. So these are the things included in my curriculum.
That is amazing. The curriculum is really great. I want to know, talking about your Instagram page, how did you get started with it? What was your story behind building your personal brand on Instagram?
So this page which I have currently was one meme page. So from there, actually I was learning coding, and I joined one workshop where they were teaching like how building personal brand is really important for a programmer, and also for joining in the community to understand what's going on. As this IT industry is updating, and there are new changes every day. So to catch up with that, we have to be in one community, right? So for that, you have to connect with the people. So make one page, and then share your thoughts, your projects, tips and tricks, concepts. So from there, you can connect with number of people. So I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. So I made this piece, but I was a little anxious, like what people will say, like, yeah, she's from a non-tech background, she knows about coding. But still, I tried, and I wasn't consistent. I don't know what to post, how to post. And if you see my like very first post, like it was a very plain post with no borders, no paddings, no margins. It was just a text there. So from there, I thought, yeah, I should change my design. So I keep on making improvements and improvements, and then finally, I learned, yeah, okay, I can go to Figma now. Like I find Figma much more, better for designing posts. So I use Figma now. So yes, so I improved my, designs, and then I also learned about how Instagram strategies is important, and what else I did. Yeah, connecting with the people, because I didn't reply to everyone initially, but now I reply to everyone. I also check my request, and if there somebody needs my help, I'm always there.
Yeah, that is awesome. So I want to know, for someone who wants to start building their online presence on Instagram, how should they get started with it? What are some of the tips that you would share?
I would say just start. Like if you post one thing, na, it would be a like great thing, because everybody thinks of starting, but only one person actually takes that courage and starts. And also starting, more than starting, being consistent is important. And here I'm not saying that you have to post every day, even if you feel burnout. Yes, being consistent is important, but if you don't feel like posting or feel like creating content, it's okay. Take few days ka break, then be back and post again, because even I did that. I felt really unproductive, like for a week, and I stopped posting content. Then I came back again and I started posting. Yeah, I also thought that posting is important every day, but I don't feel just for the sake of posting you should post. Why are we posting? Because we want to give value to our audience. If you don't have like proper and good thing to post, we don't have that good content, then there is no use of posting. And if you want to maintain your reach and everything, you can engage with the people, comment in their post, or you can also post story. You can do something like that as well, instead of posting. If you feel like if you don't post, then your reach will fall, I feel like this is what I do. I comment on everybody's post and appreciate them, because just like we want that people should comment in our post, we should also comment in their post, right? And it's just not just for for sake of commenting. It's because we just like we want support from others, we should also give them support. That this is how we make community more stronger and connect with everyone.
Yeah, definitely building up meaningful connections. It has been like really insightful talking to you today. One last question before we conclude this. What are your future goals? How do you want to go ahead with freelancing, with web development, and what do you have in store for your Instagram page as well? I would love to know.
Yeah, right now, my first goal is to clear my entrance exam and get into MCA. And then second would be like creating good projects to add into my portfolio, and third would be growing my Instagram page so that my content can be reached to as many more people it can. So new developers can understand. And because why I made this page, the basic motto was, when I started, no one to tell that this is right and or this is wrong, or give that quality content. So I want to be that person to other new people who are joining our community. So I want to be that person and grow my Instagram page. That will be my goal.
Yeah, and thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you all the best in your journey.
All the best for you too, for your YouTube channel. Like it's really great to see you and great to connect with you, and also all the very best for your YouTube channel and for your Instagram page as well.
Thank you. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. It was really insightful talking to Janvi. I'll put links to her Instagram page in the description, so you can reach out to her there if you need mentorship in web development or if you have any questions regarding freelancing. If you are new here, do not forget to subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell icon. We also have a community of developers on Discord that you can join in if you have any questions. And thank you so much. I am Aditya Thakur, and I'll see you in the next video.